What's up, y'all? Welcome to Tea Time with Letitia on Gratified Grad, where it's my goal to help you graduate with gratification. Today's video is just going to be you and I. We're just going to be chit-chatting and discussing me as a graduate student. I haven't done a routine video or a day in the life video in about a year now. And so I figure I might as well at least just update y'all on my life as a graduate student right now. And maybe when things slow down a little bit, I'll actually do a day in the life video. Really quick though, I have my mugs in with my logo on the back and the Gratified Grad and the slogan on the front. So if you would like to get a mug, click the link in the description box and it will take you to my website where you can go and purchase a mug and support Gratified Grad and what it's building to. Okay, now that's all that we're going to talk about with Gratified Grad. So right now it is application season for me, and conference submission season. Weirdly enough, there is a lot of conferences that I've applied to in this week, which would be 2 weeks ago from when I posted this video. I have applied to, or I've submitted my abstract to 3 different conferences. I have applied to 2 postdoctoral visits. And I know y'all, I always talk about how I'm not going in academia and saying that I don't like academia and this, that, and the third. But I do want to acknowledge that I still need to experience it. I still need to have some type of backing in me saying that I don't want to go into academia before I can just completely close that door out. So yes, I am looking into postdocs just to see what is that like, what can I expect from that experience. It's kind of like what I did before I came to grad school. I went to grad school open houses and I toured graduate school before I ultimately decided graduate school was the thing for me. And in this case, I'm leaning towards saying that the tenure track isn't the thing for me, but I still want to experience what people at different institutions have to say about going to do a postdoctoral. And for those who aren't familiar with what a postdoctoral or a postdoc is, it is, how do I say this? It's kind of like the training, or it's the ability for you to be an independent researcher, but still under some guide of a senior scientist. Most postdocs get to lead their own research, get to seek their own grants, and ultimately get their own funding. But it's not as rigorous or as stressful as being a PI, because when you're a PI, you pay other people's salaries and you train undergraduate students, you train graduate students. And so as a postdoc, you don't have any of those things. You're really just working on getting your grants and leading your own research interests. Or at least that's my current understanding of it. I am going to these postdoctoral experiences so that I can get a fuller understanding and experience of it. So yeah, and in applying for these different experiences, I have to submit diversity statements, which is just me talking about how do I feel about diversity, how do I include diversity into my daily life, which for me, that's pretty easy, right? I feel like half of my life is diversity, equity, and inclusion work, and then the other half is research. So writing a diversity statement is super easy for me. You have to do research statements where you talk about the work that you're doing right now, and then thinking about what work do you want to go off and do in the future, and finding a fit of an advisor that will also do that or allow you to do that work that you're choosing to do. I'm looking on my computer screen and literally at an application that I'm working on right now at the requirements, which is why I keep looking off to the side. But they also ask for your CV. And, just looking at what story does your CV tell about yourself. And it's always really neat when you can have your CV tell a story about you, and then all of your other materials, all it does is fluff up that story that your CV tells about you. And so that shows a sense of cohesion in your life, that shows that you're progressing into a specific direction, into a specific area, and it shows where your expertise lies. One thing that I am taking into consideration is that I do have an interest outside of my expertise of the regular sciences, right? The bench work sciences. I do want to get out and I do want to talk to people, and I do want to figure out how can we improve the educational experience for students of color. How can we restructure some of the structures within the educational system so that it can be more open for students of color. I also have to submit a cover letter, and I've been writing a good number of cover letters of late. Like, this is my third cover letter. No, yes, my third cover letter that I've written so far, and I'm getting better at it. I mean, the first cover letter that I wrote, I was like, I have no idea what I'm writing and no real understanding of the point of a cover letter, but I looked it up, I Googled it, and I got some examples of like what to include in a cover letter and the purpose of a cover letter. And so I have been honing like that information and making it fit the best utilization for me in submitting for these applications. So that's been pretty fun and helpful. What else have they asked for? CV, cover letter, diversity letter, teaching statement. So they want to know what your teaching philosophy is. What do you enjoy about teaching? How do you go about teaching? And just things like that. And so that has been part of my time of lately. So Gratified Grad has been a part of the time. Filling out these different applications has been a part of my time. And lastly, I am doing research, right? Yes, I am still a graduate student. Yes, I am still working on my PhD. And I've been preparing for a committee meeting where I meet with my committee, which is a group of professors that advise me on what I'm doing, what techniques I'm using. Is there anything I could do differently? Is there anything that they can help me with? And I am preparing for a meeting with them. And so I've been really trying to figure out my data and understand what my data says, what it means, how I want to organize it. So one of the ways, I think I'm going to post a video at some point showing like the creation of these cards. But these are literally just I think like the 4x6 note cards that I cut in half, and then I would write on the cards like my conclusions from that data, and then just reorder them and structure them in a way that flows, that shows some type of stream of consciousness that I then take and literally like put into presentation form, PowerPoint form. And I've also been writing abstracts based off of the different ways that I can organize these cards. At one point, I was trying to do this but on an Excel file, and it just was not working for me. Like, I needed to visually be able to pick up the information and move it to different places to know what order in the story I wanted to tell it to. So I'm really glad that something in me just told me write it on a card. And from there, I've been able to like make a couple of different connections that I wouldn't have been able to make if I hadn't put them on these cards. So if you're struggling with organizing your data, like, even though this isn't How To Mondays, creating some cards may be helpful in how you organize your data. So yeah, that has been my update. I mean, I'm still participating in the Black Graduate Student Association. I'm still president of that. Though that is coming to an end. I am also on some random committees within the university as well. That won't probably end just because the committees most of them are like short-term committees. So I probably will continue to hop on these short-term committees for the professional development that they provide. I mean, I can't complain at the experience that I'm getting throughout these situations. So yeah, that's about it. The eyelash. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to hop in and let you all know what was going on with me. I hope that you all have a great Friday, and we'll check back in later. Bye.